Okay, so I have been AWOL for a while and just getting back into it now. So I'm going to start by kind of doing an update video. I really haven't been doing much projects since I stopped posting. Basically, since I lost Buddy, I haven't been really doing anything. So I'm just getting back into it now, and I'm going to do an update video real quick, and then I've got a little bit of a kind of an announcement and a little bit of a direction change for the channel at the end of the video. So let's start at the far right. We'll go right to left here. So tractor is really nothing much to say about it because it kind of just does the work it's asked to do. It's always starts up and goes and works the road. So really nothing's been done with this thing. Oh, it's got a new tarp. Pickup truck is about to be replaced probably. I'm looking at an older truck, something with a solid front axle so that I can drive it up and down this dirt road without having to do ball joints every 2 years. And I'm worried about having to do control arms, and I really don't want to have to do control arms, so I'd like to get rid of this thing before it needs them and get something that doesn't have control arms. All right, so this garage is the Opel garage, and you can see before I talk about the Opel, the front of the garage, I've got some framing here where I've got some 4x4s in the ground and a 2x6 across the top, another 4x4, and then it's attached to the side of the garage through to the metal siding as well on both sides. And then of course it's already has the reinforcements and the metal over the top and everything. So I've done this on both garages. Eventually the zipper is going to fail and I'll be able to hang some doors on that framework there, but in the meantime it's actually given it surprisingly good rigidity as a result. So that's pretty good. As far as the car is concerned, I'm kind of in a holding pattern here. The last video I did, I think it was last video on the channel, was messing with this, and the next video was going to see if I could get it to start. But unfortunately I got this tool made. And this tool here is intended to engage with the oil pump. I made this on the lathe and on the bench mill, and I got the distributor out, put this down into the oil pump, spin it with a drill, and I could not get oil to pump up into the top of the motor. So I felt some resistance with the drill, like it started to get some resistance pumping oil, but not sure why I never got any oil pumping up to the top there. Maybe the next step is to get a mechanical pressure gauge and plumb that in where the sending unit is in this. I'm not sure if this has a mechanical or not. I haven't gone looking for it. And then see if I get any oil pressure when I run that with the drill. Not really sure. I may end up having to take this motor out and maybe go with the engine out of the parts car. I've got to still test that, of course, give it a compression test and see if it's going to be a viable option. But this may come out, if for no other reason, just to go through it, maybe put it on an engine stand and just take it apart a bit and just see what's going on with it, because I'm not really sure where we stand with this, especially since it was half installed, really. Lots of new parts, but why did they stop halfway through the install? It couldn't have been just because they broke the dipstick tube off, but who knows. All right, so next thing, going right to left. Okay, so this next thing here you can see is the garage doors. You can see I've got the garage doors actually hung on this garage here because the zippers did in fact fail. So that's one project I did. There's not much to talk about on the Jeep. It is still leaking, but not as bad. I did do the seal on the rear differential in the front, and now that's pretty much dry, so that's good. And I did do the seal on the front of the transfer case as well, and that looks to be pretty much dry too. But I still have a little bit of gasket leaking going on down there, and you know, I've got the plate on the back, the inspection plate on the back of the transfer case also still leaking as well. So I've got some stuff to deal with on this as far as leaking is concerned. but not much has happened with this since. And she has been out a few times recently. She still runs pretty good, and there's no problem other than the leaking really with this. But at some point I'm going to have to get that transfer case and transmission out because I have a bad throw out bearing for the clutch. So if you've watched any of my videos where I'm actually driving this thing, you can kind of hear it's a pretty loud throw out bearing when I push in the clutch. So I got to do that anyway at some point. So I haven't been too excited about doing the leaks because I know I'm gonna have to get the whole thing out anyway. So not much has really happened with the Jeep. So I did pull the Volvo out of mothballs though, and I got another one. So this is another 240, and this one is in really great shape, except I can't get it to quite run right. I think it's probably the cold start valve that's just stuck open, but I kind of abandoned it for now because I know the other one runs right. And I put that one back into service instead of this one. And in the spring, maybe I'll tinker with this a little and get it to go. But it's also not quite as pretty as the blue one. So, but it's got a really great interior in it comparatively. The doors all work. It's got all good glass except for the windshield. Got a couple of body issues here and there. But the biggest issue with this thing is it actually has a big hole that I've patched with that piece of galvanized metal right there. I pounded in with a hammer. Big hole in the bottom, and it also has a split in the floor underneath the driver's side rear passenger. So that's maybe the other one being a solid chassis is the car to go with, and this is going to be parts car. But that's a new acquisition since last video. So that's really the only updates out here. Now the big update. So this is a recent purchase that I picked up, kind of related to the direction I want the channel to kind of go in a little bit more. Gonna work more on the bikes on this channel, specifically on the Harleys. So I picked this one up. This one didn't really need much, did a little cosmetic work to it and some deferred maintenance, not that much. But the other one, that's gonna be the project. Okay, as you can see, we have a new toy here. So this is a 1974 FX 1200 shovelhead. So it doesn't look entirely like an FX because of the modifications that have been made, but this it's an amazingly cool bike. This is really cool machine. So I picked this up. I got it for a really good price. I didn't steal it from the guy, but I think I got a fair price on it. And it doesn't run, quote unquote. It will kind of start, but it is a kick only. So this does not have electric start on it, although electric start can easily be added to this. From the looks of it, it has everything in place to put the electric start there. So I could put the electric start on it if I decide to, and I might, who knows. But for now, it does kick, and I did get it when I looked at it to start for a few seconds, but it immediately floods out. This carburetor is just dripping fuel, and in fact, there's a little bit right there. So it immediately just starts dumping fuel as soon as you turn the fuel on. So it just floods it right out. So I think taking that carburetor apart and tinkering with it a little bit, maybe put a rebuild kit in it, will bring this thing to life. Now it did make a little bit of noise from the bottom of the motor when it ran for the few seconds it did run. When I looked at it, I'm pretty sure that was lifter noise. So it's probably just because there's no oil in those lifters. Because there's no oil in this bike. He had it stored with no oil in it, and maybe that is because of that. That is all oil, and it's just dripping. I think it's coming from the feed line to the oil pump. That seems to be wet. So that's probably where that's coming from. I think that's the feed line, and that's the return line behind it. And then back there, I think is, oh no, up here, I think is the vapor return, because that's the one that's got the T in it. So I think it's the line coming down that gravity feeds from the tank that's dripping oil down here. But this is just an absolutely really, really, really cool find, this bike. So this is just, okay, the front end of this. Some of the cool parts of this bike. So this has got an old panhead front end on it. Big, wide FL style front end. You can see the triple lights on the front. But the coolest part of it is this drum brake here. So this is a cable operated, no hydraulics, cable operated drum brake. And it does kind of work. It's way out of adjustment. I got to take it apart, see if it needs pads, or rather shoes. And I think I'm gonna keep that on there. Originally, when I looked at this, I was thinking I'd probably put an FX front end on it, because I kind of prefer that in general, but I don't know. That is just so cool that I might have to keep it that way. And the lights are pretty cool as well, but just a really cool bike. The things that have been done to it are really pretty cool too. I think a lot of people customize their bikes and they put a lot of these stupid flaming skulls. I'm not big on the skull thing. The only place where he's got that on here is right here. And actually, these are little subtle little things. They're not too bad. I actually kind of dig that maybe. But I also I've got the battery box as well. Can't put that on because I think the battery's actually turned around the wrong way and I have to store it out. But I bought this up in Colorado, and the guy has owned it for a long time. He put it together, I guess, in the 80s or in 1980 maybe. Had it rebuilt sometime after that. And I think that this is going to be a keeper. I think this one's going to stay with me because it's just too cool. It's just too cool to move it on. I'm going to keep this thing, I think. So it will kick and fire up a little bit, but I think that I'm going to take this carburetor apart, at least maybe clean it up and put it back together and see if it will hold its fuel. And then maybe she'll start and run. But she is not easy to kick. So I might at some point get an electric start for it and switch it over. But for right now, she's a kick only. So this, I don't think I'm really going to change much about her. The only things I can think of that I really don't like that he put on this thing, and he did some really cool stuff with this bike. I don't really care for the fishtail exhaust pipes. Those are really not my favorite. They may be kind of growing on me a little bit, but I think I still prefer some regular straight drag pipes, and since those can be had pretty inexpensively, I may do that. I'll probably keep the front end though. The front end I think is just too cool, and I'm going to keep that. And then on the back here, you can see it's got this cool Tombstone tail light there. I've got the license plate thing. Oh, and he gave me these blinkers that are going to go underneath this seat like that, so that I have blinkers. And I don't know if I'll have something on the front. Maybe I won't have front blinkers. I don't know. Probably put something off the handlebars on the front. There's a bunch of stuff to do to this bike. Everywhere you look, there's stuff to do. It leaks really bad from everywhere, so all of the oil plumbing is going to have to be looked at. The electrical stuff is kind of a mess too. I'm kind of a stickler on the electrical stuff these days, just because of all the electrical issues I've had in the past, especially with a Jeep. But you can see this wiring is not exactly right on some of the stuff, or actually it's probably right, it just doesn't, it's not really neat. So, but there's a way to run these wires a little neater than that. I'm going to take care of that. So there's really only one thing on this bike that I'd like to change, and that's those pipes. And maybe, I don't know, this thing, I don't know why this looks so modern on here. I really doubt the original, I guess this is the rectifier. I really doubt the original was anodized black aluminum heat sink, but I don't know. Maybe I can find something that looks more original. But maybe that was the original. I don't know. Maybe somebody can let me know. Oh, look at this. It has the original spark plug, spare spark plug holder, right? So take this cover off, and you got 2 spark plugs can fit right there. And then you'll have 2 spares with you at all times, which, you know, on these things probably wasn't a bad idea. So that's cool to have that. But she's absolutely complete. There's nothing really missing from her. She's got everything. I just need to get it back into running condition and put her on the road, get her out in the wind, because she is too cool to keep her sitting here. Okay, so the idea is to flip some motorcycles. So I'm going to focus on Harleys, I think, probably Sportsters, and because they're going to be an easier flip, and they're probably going to be cheaper to pick up, and then you know, quicker to turn around. So I'm going to try flipping a couple and see how it goes. So I'm going to set up that garage with a cement floor in the spring. I'm going to buy a motorcycle lift table, and we're going to get going and start doing some motorcycles, and you'll start to see some at least sporties come through the channel, and we're going to work on some stuff. But in the meantime, the shovel head here is going to be a project that's going to be on the channel moving forward. So the Sportster, not that much left to do on that. Really wasn't that much to do on it when I got it. It came to me basically in really great shape, except for some deferred maintenance, which I took care of. A couple of odds and ends. I changed the seat, changed out some chrome, put a chrome front fender on it, did a couple of maintenance items, and it's basically good to go. Some aesthetic features I added to it. So that thing's one of the reliable old Evo engines. So that's why I bought that, is to be a bike that I could just always get on, and I knew it would always start and never leave me on the side of the road as long as I kept it well maintained. And the shovel head is the bike that I'm going to tinker with. So that's the fleet. I don't think I'm going to be flipping the shovel. I think I'm going to be looking at finding a bunch of Sportsters and flipping Sportster here and there, and we'll see how it goes. But I will still be doing all the other stuff on the channel as well. I will still be working on the Jeep and the tractor and the Opel and the Volvo and whatever the hell else I run across that strikes me. And but the Harleys are going to definitely be a feature on the channel moving forward.